1 Timothy chapter 3, if you've got a Bible and you can read it. Maybe you got that iPhone app that'll allow you to do that, the flashlight. Good to be with you all. This is my last sermon in South Africa. It has been 2 weeks away from my family, 25 sermons, 3 cities. And I hear that you guys are the best crowd. So it's nice to save the best for last. And I'll just start by saying you've all you, and this is not just a sermon in a series for the guys. A lot of ladies will ask the question, hey, it's a series for guys. What about us? We're going to beat the guys. That's love to you. These guys are ruining your life, so we're going to fix them to make you happy. So just because we beat the guys doesn't mean we're on your side. We're going to beat the guys to God's glory and your joy. So that's how it's going to go. And let me tell you, you guys have been lied to. When it comes to what it means to be a man, you have 2 options. You go to culture, you go to church. And if you go to culture, you're going to be lied to. And it is nothing more than a bunch of marketers and advertisers trying to pickpocket you, take your money, take your resources. It used to be that you'd go from boy to man. And we've invented something called adolescence. Adolescence is, at least as I understand it in your great nation, at 18 you get a driver's license and the right to drink alcohol. It is weird that they give you both of those opportunities at the same time. It seems like they would stagger that. Maybe do like we do, teach you how to drive for 5 years, then let you drink. And nonetheless, the way I think it works here is at about 18, you get a license, you get the ability to drink legally, and then you don't have to grow up for a really long time. You don't go from boy to man, you go from boy to extended adolescence to man. And the adolescence period in the middle means, in your teens, 20s, 30s, you get to act like a boy. You get to act like a boy. You're a boy who could shave. Some of you guys should be, literally, you should be in a stroller, getting pushed around the mall by a girlfriend, drinking beer out of a sippy cup with a lid on it, right? Because all you are is just big babies with beards. That's it. And the way it works in this adolescent phase is the culture will come to you and say, don't get married, don't make babies, don't take responsibility, don't buy a house, don't get a job, don't finish a degree, don't love one woman. And they'll give you lots of ideas, not Bible ideas, but cultural ideas. So you buy magazines like this, you go into stores, you walk out in the casino and you see ads, and here's what they tell you. Real men drink this beer. Real men wear these jeans. Real men drive this truck. Real men smoke this weed. Real men root for this rugby team. Real men gamble. Real men fight. Real men nap. Real men find porn. Real men masturbate. You know what? Ridiculous. It's all a lie. Because being a man is not about what you consume. How much food and drink and women and money and entertainment and porn you can consume. Like you're a god and it all exists to glorify you. Being a man is not about what you consume. It's about what you produce. It's not about what you take. It's about what you give. And some of you guys have been lied to. Adolescence is not a life stage. It's a sin to be repented of. And so you can either go to the culture and have adolescence extended, and it exists globally. It exists in the U.S., we call it Guyland, the sociologists do. In Europe, they call it laddism. In French, they call them the tan guys, because all they do is lay out to the beach, getting ready for hell. That's all they do. And I don't want you guys to be boys in men's bodies. I want you to grow up. A bunch of you didn't have fathers, or your fathers were alcoholics, or wife beaters, or idiots, or overachievers, or continual workers, or traded in your 50-year-old mom for 2 25-year-old twins. You come from some of those families, and it's all garbage, it's all nonsense, it's all ridiculous, and that's not how God made men to be. So we're not going to go to culture, we're going to go to Scripture. We're going to be the church, not the world, and we're going to look at 1 Timothy 3. Here's why. Because this is the description of elders, overseers, pastors. The words are used synonymously in the Bible in places like 1 Peter 5 and Acts chapter 20. And here it sets your job description, men. You know what they didn't give you in school? A job description. You know what your city doesn't have? A job description for men. The Bible has a job description for men. 1 Timothy 3 says, these are the best men, the leaders, the pastors, the elders. All men should aspire to be elder quality, and some men will actually be elder qualified, paid or unpaid pastors. So we'll kick it off. Here we go. The saying is trustworthy. If anyone aspires to the office of overseer, he desires a noble task. First thing he says is, guys, if you want to be passionate about something, you want to be excited about something, you want to be motivated for something, you want to pursue something, make it ministry. You want to join a team, join God's team. You want to be on a mission, get on God's mission. Don't get together with a bunch of other guys drinking Red Bull, logging onto the internet, trying all to be guild leaders on World of Warcraft. There's another option, there's another team, there's another mission than that. Get together with God's men, start to have a plan for your city, plan for your life, plan for your future, plan for your family. And if you desire to lead, it's a good thing. You guys should desire to lead. You should desire to make a difference. And what he says is if you have that desire, there's a punch list of 17 things you've got to give yourself to. One category is loving God. The other is loving your family. The third is managing your life. And the fourth is serving your city. And I want you guys all to read this section, memorize this section, study this section, write it down, put it on your mirror, put it in your car, put it in your truck, revisit it all the time. This is your punch list. This is your job description. He goes on to say, therefore an overseer must be above reproach, the husband of one wife, sober-minded, self-controlled, respectable, hospitable, able to teach, not a drunkard, not violent but gentle, not quarrelsome, not a lover of money. A lot of nots, because there's a lot of things that dudes do that they're not supposed to do. He must manage his own household well with all dignity, keeping his children submissive, for if someone does not know how to manage his own household, how will he care for God's church? He must not be a recent convert, or he'll become puffed up and conceited and fall into the condemnation of the devil. Moreover, he must be well thought of by outsiders, so that he may not fall into disgrace, into a snare of the devil. 17 things. He lists them all. First category, relationship to God, love for God. Number one, he says, be a man. This is a guy, a dude's dude. Not just the fact that you can write your name in the snow, but a man, a real guy. You know what I'm talking about? How many of you ladies, you meet a guy, he's really nice, really sweet, cries when he sings song to Jesus, you think, he'd be a really good friend. That's not the kind of guy I'm talking about. I'm talking about a guy that you'd want to trust, give your life to, man's man, guy's guy, dude's dude, foot forward, respectable, responsible. Not like the guys at Cape Town. What is going on in Cape Town? I had a great time in Durban. We get on the plane to Cape Town. There's a whole bunch of dudes with purses. Drinking spritzers. I mean, it was unbelievable. I just got out my hand sanitizer. I'm like, this whole plane feels nasty. It wasn't a bunch of guys. So first thing, dude, guy, man. Number two, above reproach. This is without character defect. You look at a guy's whole life, and it's all in order. It's not like, oh, man, he's really good at work, but then he's got this secret life, or, he does well at church, but when nobody's looking, he's got a whole thing on the side. Above reproach, whole life, in order, all of life to the glory of God and the good of others. Number three, able to teach. You guys should all aspire to be Bible teachers. For some of you, this is one-on-one in counseling, small group in a home, class, elder, preacher, campus pastor, church planner, if nothing else, husband and father. Dad is supposed to be a little pastor over his family. Not in a mean-spirited way at all. What it means is your wife, if you guys are single, and just so you know, your odds are good. Look around. This is unbelievable. You single guys, if you can't close a deal in this room, you have no right being in the gene pool. You just have no right. You just should sit in the lounge chair and never jump in. You're just not helpful at all. There's some amazing gals here. You know what these amazing gals want? They're reading their Bible, they're studying, they're praying. They want a husband that when they're reading and studying, they can go to him and say, honey, I'm reading this, I'm studying this in the Bible or this Christian book, and I'd like to talk to you about it, and I'd like to work it through, and I'd like you to help me think it through.